Okay, so today we're going to work on the greens. There's some greens in the on the walls and right here, and then we'll put some color in the water to prepare the water for the next step. So for that, for this stage, I'm using sap green, cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre, and burnt sienna. So with the corner of a brush, which is a flat or bright, I'm going to start adding the darks of the green. So we have dark green right here, which is great. We have to add some here and on the wall. So I'm going to take sap green. I'm going to put a bit of burnt sienna in it, and that will darken it. And I'm just going to put a layer over here. I'm using the corner of my brush. I'm going to take all of that up. Actually, there's some over the door. This is a climbing plant, so you see some of the leaves going up. It's going to change the whole look of the painting. Okay. All right, now next to the door. And also, wow, over here between the windows. Okay. Now there's another one on the side. I'm going to take more, I'm going to take sap green, put some sap green in my burnt sienna. It's the other way around. Just a bit, just to darken my burnt sienna. And I'm going to add this over here. I'm using the corner of my brush now. And just dabbing. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. Now we'll highlight. We will highlight the greens. Okay, so I added a bit. I added a bit of cadmium red light, so I can mix an orange, make an orange to add it to burnt sienna, to have a bit of highlights in here. Now, for now, we're going to highlight the greens. So I'm going to take sap green. I'm going to put a bit of yellow ochre in it. This is good enough. And with a round small brush, I'm going to start highlighting midtones. And then I will, you know, look at it and see if it needs, by the time it's dry, if the color is light enough. If it's not, I will put a bit of more yellow in there. Okay. For the one on the side, the one I'm highlighting right now, keep the side darker. Otherwise it will look too flat. This way, if you keep the side darker, it will look like it's on an angle. Let's highlight this one. Midtone. This is a good highlight for a midtone. Yeah. Good. Right. Let's take some same. And highlight this one before I move on to the orange. It's, shouldn't take long. So this is when you start seeing a shape with highlights. So what I'm doing is with this round small brush, all I'm doing is I'm dabbing and moving my hand, keeping an eye on the shape I'm creating. Don't highlight the whole thing. Just kind of keep a couple of darks in there. Now, this one here next to the door has a strong highlight. I'll come back to this. Not for now.
Oh, I didn't put that one in. I'll do that. Missed it.
You missed what?
That bush beside the door, but that's easy to add.
So now that I'm going down, I'm going to change a bit the color of the green. So I'm going to take burnt sienna, add it to this same highlight. Actually, you know, that needs a bit of orange because it's muddy now. Okay, let's do this again. Let's mix an orange, cadmium yellow light, cadmium red light, perfect. Now let's take burnt sienna, that will make the burnt sienna more orangey. Clean my brush, sap green. Now I'll put yellow in my sap green. So both colors are clean now. Take this, mix it with sap green, just a bit, slowly. All right, so now I have a clean kind of green-orange color. I know in the picture, in the reference, it looks darker, but I think this is a beautiful color. It's okay if it's lighter here. It just, because there's so much green. So it's nice to add a little bit of color in here. I know I'm jumping to this, but you know, just kind of because I'm using a toned down green, orange. Now, I'm going to take green, sap green, mixed with cadmium yellow light. Maybe it needs a tiny bit of yellow ochre. It will dry darker. Let's darken this part a bit in the back. And now I'm going to take again highlighted green and just add a couple in here. Pick up orange again. Just a bit more of the cadmium yellow light. And I'm just going to highlight this part. You can always adjust your highlight once the once the paint is dry. So if you find that it's too light, too dark, just wait a bit. And then you'll see you can adjust the color. Like now. So I use sap green, and I usually dip a bit of yellow ochre in my sap green to tone it down, to make it more earthy. A little bit of cadmium yellow light. I think it's just a bit too much highlight in here. Let's tone it down. Tone down. All right. Wow, we have a big tree now to highlight. All right, I'm going to change my brush into medium, a little bit bigger, round. Let's take sap green. yellow ochre. That's a good mid-tone. There. Perfect. Right, again. This one here. And these are kind of in the front. So I'm going to highlight them stronger. Not the same, a little bit more denser in terms of color than the one behind it. Otherwise, they're going to mix. So for me to see the one in the front, I need to change the shape and shape of the highlight and the shape of the brush stroke. And then the color too, make it a little bit more, highlight it a little bit more. Same for the top, for this one. What I like about these, the bushes in here, is that they're highlighted on top, but they do have a darker bottom. Gives it depth.
Sap and yellow ochre?
Yeah, sap yellow ochre and a bit of cadmium yellow light for the strong highlight in the front. So yeah, I think it needs more highlight. So what I'm going to do is add more yellow for this one. Yeah. More yellow to the green. That's what I'm doing. Okay. I'm taking more sap green in here, in this area, and I'm just putting kind of a darker sap green in here. That's good. I'm going to pause a bit and then we'll move on to the orange. Okay, so I have a bit of burnt sienna with sap green and a little bit of yellow ochre in here. And I'm going to put, I see some burnt sienna, earthy burnt sienna. You don't have to mix all of that. Use burnt sienna only. And just add it here, which is really nice. It frames the windows. Oh, I like that. Okay. So now let's move on to the orange. And I see here that the orange I put down here is too dark, or not. It, you know, a bit more orange in there will look really nice. So I'm mixing another batch of orange, adding burnt sienna. And now, because it's, you know, the color is dry now, so I can see the paint is dry. And I can see that it will take a little bit of more of orange in here. That will look nice. So I'm using orange. I'm making an orange, putting a bit of burnt sienna in it and yellow ochre. Okay, let's move on to this beautiful orange color that's on the house itself. So I'm mixing orange and burnt sienna, and I'm just going to highlight this. Oh, nice. Okay, switch to burnt sienna only at the bottom. Okay. All right, right behind this part, there's a bit of orangey color in there. All right. That's it for this part. We're good. Yeah, I think it's good enough. Let's change the shape of this narrow walkway. Narrow the walkway a bit, make it narrower. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now next step, we're going to put green in here. So we'll use leftover green and we'll put it in here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so meanwhile, when I was waiting, I mixed black and brown, burnt umber and any black, and I put a bit of more shadows over here. This part, this part, this part right there, and right here. It just gives a bit more depth. And now what I'm going to do is take my flat brush, use green, and some of the black I have here. And work a bit on this part. Just add some green in here, just leftover green.
Did you say with black as well, Leanne?
There's a bit of black in there.
Okay.
In the green, because I need dark green in there as a base. This way I have a dark green for the water, and then what I have to do is put the reflection and highlights. So I'll build it up. I'm going to build it up and leave the part that I see that's really dark. I'll leave this part the way it is. Now I'm going to take as well a bit of burnt sienna and add this here. The more highlights or darks or lights or color we add, the nicer it will look. I don't know. I don't want to work too much on this for this week. We'll leave the highlights or the reflection for next week. All right. I'm just going to get rid of the color I have or the paint I have on my palette.
Don't want to be wasteful.
Yep. Right. Now let's take sap green. And I'm going to take burnt yellow ochre. I'm going to go across.
Oops.
Oh, Justin, you look so handsome. You're showing me. Are you showing me your haircut? All right, let's mix a bit of that. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Hello. Yes. Yes, you look You look really nice. I don't know why he's staring at me, but she's
Treat.
treat. Yes, treat.
Treats for being a good boy.
Yes, yes. I'm adding a tiny bit of yellow ochre now to the greens and burnt sienna I'm using. I keep saying I don't want to work on this too much, and then I work on it. Okay.
Like us, you don't know when to stop.
Yeah. Right there. Okay, that's a good start. I have here some burnt umber, so what I'm going to do is just put the burnt umber down here. It's preparing for the stones. Now I have a... Okay. Right. Let's take a bit more. Now that this is dry, the grass, I'm going to take a little bit more yellow and yellow ochre with my sap green. Mix it to the sap green. And then I'm just going to go in and just highlight again this part. I'm not going to take the highlight all the way in. This might look a little bit too light right now, but that's okay. It will dry darker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just yellow ochre and add a bit of it. Oh, geez, it's too much. I think it might be a little bit too strong, but we can always tone it down there. So I toned it down with green and a bit of burnt sienna. And just push this back. All right. It's a good start. We will highlight the road as well next week. And we'll leave it here. That's good enough. Oops. Okay. All right, let's leave it there. And then next week we'll start working on the water and the road, and we'll be done. Yep, that looks good. Looks very good for this week, and next week we'll continue.